David Pakman regurgitated ignorance. Because they cannot dismiss the facts, they try to dismiss the person. David Pakman don't debunk the facts told by Reza Aslan. Pakman only seems to cowardly attack the academic credentials of Reza without proving wrong the numerous arguments presented by Reza Aslan against all the bigotry, Islamophobia, and hatred spread by mainstream media and several racist organizations and public figures. The David Pakman and other people's single attention on the Reza Aslan credentials prove the desperate attempted to disprove a person instead of disproving the facts in Reza academic arguments. Besides that, how hypocrite a self-learning person with irrefutable facts can be dismissed by technicalities in his academic credentials. Especially when this weak and irrelevant claims comes from the people who use and abuse on their self-educated and self-informed and fact-seeking behaviorism theories to justify their supreme knowledge and even superiority toward others. For more confused that can be, the facts presented by Reza Aslan not going to be changed even if Reza Aslan happens to have only the 4th grade complete. Using this bureaucratic and paper-worthy arguments are the simple, the coward and irrelevant way to dismiss the dismissible. What answer can anybody give to this empty claims? The American and Western media are surrounded by lies, by false flags, brainwash and endless contradictions, but the attention and the scandals are certainly brought with a much hatred and persecution style when is the others who are doing it. David Pakman also previously expressed his profound ignorance or maybe racism, when declared the North Korean leader as the person who should be killed because allegedly be guilty of killing more people and causing more suffering in the world. This nonsensical and childish view of the world did not even follow by mentioning the endless war campaigns by Western forces, especially when presidents like Obama are crushing records by dropping more than 20,000 bombs in less than a year. But this genocidal behavior of their own president is obviously not mentioning by this childish teenager that limits himself to follow the stupidity of several Americans' mentality when claiming the moral superiority over others and ignoring their much devastating and criminal behavior toward others. It's like the progressive version of American or Western exceptionalism being carried on by what appears to be a well-paid/bride son of immigrants. Such strategies could almost be made out of intelligent and political official schemes to promote a controlled revolution made limit in the American borders. David Pakman and his co-worker Lewis have discussed several issues with an interesting perspectives but also have presented a disparately on their dimension views on some of the geopolitical and war affairs history and facts. Shamefully the ignorance level is too high but presented loudly instead of resume their show to the subjects that they can actually talk about with facts to back them up. In this point doesn't matter anymore if Reza Aslan have the PhD or if Kim Jong-un is a dictator, since the moment that you are not attacking the facts to make your points, and you ignore a much serious and relevant culpability and crime record from your own nation and society, no respect or rights can be reserved to people who live to exhibit their self-claimed moral superiority toward others. Unfortunately the David Pakman show jumps from 10 to 0 when basically is a great show on American issues but denigrate themselves when expressing the most profound inexperience and ignorance when discussing foreigner issues such as Islam, Asian regimes, and even strangely in Latin America politics. And I said strangely because David Pakman is an immigrant from Latin America and is no more impressive than is certainly shocking the way he ignores the US coups, war invasions, and slavery in that same Latin American nations and make remarkable opinions about the allegedly Hugo Chavez or Fidel Castro so-called dictatorships that reveals indeed a much profound ignorance or perhaps, reveals an agenda, or a well-paid script to control a certain level of progressive opinion or liberal revolution to be exclusive toward internal American affairs in order to create the illusion of change, of course, without ever promote any change on the real victims of the Western aggression around the world and all the Western false campaigns and lies in mainstream media. Anybody also could attack David Pakman for his hypocrite or false statements such how non-mainstream his show really is after he claims to not be supported by any big corporation at same time that he displays a direct advertising from Amazon. Should I call it naivety or shamefully self-contradiction? The point is simple. Coward attacks do not attack facts, attack image and populist ways of discussion. Anybody is welcome to present facts that are relevant for our discussions, David Pakman did not present any facts or any claims to debunk the relevant arguments of Reza Aslan about the media lies and deception about Islam and about Muslim countries. The David Pakman accusations or propaganda speeches were limited to a coward position when ignoring such facts and arguments just choose to attack through irrelevant issues such as Reza Aslan academic credentials. Why David Pakman attack Reza Aslan academic credentials? Because he could not dismiss the facts that Reza presented in his arguments, so David need to dismiss the person and not the relevant facts. Not discussing the claims made by Reza, but discussing Reza itself. Unfortunately, this is not the first time that viewers can witness a certain level of Islamophobic speech in the David Pakman show, and has a person who already present the same Islamophobic false facts and propaganda lies. David Pakman tried to attack the man that debunked this hatred propaganda with irrefutable facts. Let me remember to everybody that Reza Aslan is being fiercely attacked after he debunked the lies and false propaganda about Islam and about Muslim countries, and is amazing how Reza Aslan is more attacked and persecuted for telling the true and facts that many of the public figures who were caught telling outrageous lies and to be proven guilty of several crimes. Just click on the link below and get shook about why Reza Aslan is being attacked for, and how nobody till today was capable to debunk all the facts that Reza Aslan presented in this public appearances. The Progressive Channel, who sponsor shows like the Young Turks, should definitely rethink about their support to the David Pakman show. Such vulgar way of approaching issues and cowardly attacking the people through non-factual or irrelevant extreme ways are not indeed the idea or principle defended on the progressive movement. And sadly, David Pakman bipolarity or intentionally ignorance make him be in the same position of people like Bill Maher, funny, very entertainer, but not really trust wordy or intellectually advanced to be taking serious by the people who actually study and work in the most deep and mysterious areas of life and society. Unfortunately, David Pakman proved to be a simple peasant in the world of information and proved to be a simple playground show for childish views of the world. Like I said, nobody till now was capable to dismiss the Reza Aslan facts, but countless people rush to try to dismiss Reza academic credentials, and that is the perfect evidence of being unable to refute any of the Reza Aslan arguments that fully destroys all the anti-Islam bigotry and war propaganda made by governments in order to keep impunity over the Western military aggression, and in order to promote social hatred and fear toward Muslims in general. David Pakman could not be more coward, ignorant and mainstream when preferring the populism/academic attacks instead of trying to argument directly with Reza and directly discussing the facts and arguments in Reza's statements about Islam. I'm not dismissing the David Pakman show arguments about Reza Aslan academic credentials. I'm not agreeing 100% with Reza Aslan view of Islam, but I'm sure that talking behind Reza back, cowardly attacking the person and not the arguments made about Islam, is indeed the biggest sign of cowardice and weakness, and nothing on this ways of journalism honor the truth or the facts. Reza is the most attacked person on the American media when we talk about Islam, but is coincidentally the public figure who were less interviewed by the same critics, and that only shows the ultimate fear of being wrong when discussing these issues directly with Reza Aslan.